the customers in the last week or so that have been my customers since 2014.
Wow.
And they're giving me money for, you know, the renewals and stuff every year. And the exciting thing is, Carrie, they're very happy with their app and they're using it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let us get started here. We're going to bring Roger in. I want to welcome everybody to our Wednesday night training presented by the Appwizard studio team. And tonight we're privileged to have Roger Pineda with us. Real quick, if you've not joined our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/AWS Mastermind, please go there. A lot of great information shows up there. If you've not joined our YouTube channel, that's one thing we just did. We popped in on our YouTube channel, and we go live there every single Wednesday night. And real quick disclaimer, Appwizard Studio nor I cannot guarantee just because you're watching training, you will make any sales, create any traffic, or increase your income. Every person is different, has different work ethics and different desires. And without further ado, this guy that I'm about to bring on, there is nothing wrong with his work ethic. I can promise you that. He's the hardest working guy out there. I've never seen a guy that hits it like he does. He's on the streets every day. He's probably younger than everybody on here, and that's one of the reasons why he can. But
Yeah.
you know, this guy is absolutely amazing. I mean, he calls me and excites me during the day. So Roger, how you doing, buddy? And thank you for coming on and taking time. I know that you were out in the field and I called you and you said, hey, let me go home and I'll do this for you. So first and foremost, thank you so much. And because I know how busy you are. And but tell us what's happening out there. Tell us what your techniques are. If anything's changed.
I tell you, anybody can do this business, Carrie. I am telling you, I am going to be 70 in 2 years, and I'm out every day, 5-6 hours talking to customers. And when I joined this company, I remember I paid my money, and after I paid the money, I had like $3 left in my checking account. And I said to myself, I sure hope this thing works. And I'll tell you, Carrie, the company has never let me down. You guys keep improving the product. And I'll tell you, Carrie, because of the program last month, I actually became debt free. And when I started, I was losing my house, losing my cars. I had so many bills. I didn't know how I was going to pay it off, but I had faith and I believed in the company and I went to work, and the rest is history. And today it's just like, it's amazing what's happening, Carrie. I mean, I'm so excited, but for the people on the line and listening, this is really the real deal, the best I've ever had. And the only difference is, Carrie, you're right. If it's 110 degrees, raining or whatever here in Phoenix, I'm out on the street. And I remember one day I called you and I had some questions about the training, Carrie. And you said, what are you doing today, Roger? I said, I'm not doing anything. It's raining. And you said something like, well, you just lost some sales today. Oh, man, you put guilt on me. So when it's raining, I'm still out there. But you know what? Every day, I tell you what, Gary, every day I come home with checks and I pick up new customers. And I have so many customers now. My referral business is incredible. I remember when I started this business, I was going down the street, knocking on the door. This is one street called Cave Creek. And I tell you what, I think I've signed everybody up in that street since I've been involved with this company. And everybody knows everybody. The other day, I was making a presentation to somebody, and I show some of the apps that I have sold. And I hit this one. He goes, "Oh, you did this? Oh, you did him?" And I said, "You know him?" He goes, "Yeah." Guess what? He gave me a check. Is that amazing?
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, you have built such a reputation. Roger's in Phoenix, Arizona, if you guys don't know where he's at. And he's out in Phoenix, and he does amazing work. I mean, he does amazing things. And he's right. You know, there's nothing more important. If you're going to own your own business and you're going to make it happen and you're going to make it work, you really got to get off your ass and go out and work. And I remember, I'll never forget that day he called me and he told me, he said, you know, and that's a very true story. He said, I said, what are you doing, Roger? He said, I'm sitting in the house. It's raining. And I said, why are you sitting in the house? I said, you're missing customers today because nobody else is walking in their door to see them. And, you know, I don't think there's been a rainy day that he's ever called me that he wasn't out in the field. And Roger and I do talk a lot. I stay in tune with what's going on out there and how it's working. And, you know, Roger, you told me a story about 2 months ago about one of your customers in Colorado. Share that story with the folks.
Well, I have a very good customer. He was one of my first customers, and I signed him up. And you want to understand how I did this. I walked in. This gentleman is an auto repair place. I walked in. His name was Steve. And I say, Steve, my name is Roger. I have something that may be a benefit to your company. You have a few minutes. At that time, I was asking for minutes. Today, I asked for 5 seconds. So anyway, what happens is I show him the product and he liked it. Well, I gave him our price and he said, okay, go ahead and write me up. Well, I came back 3 days later and he says, Roger, I really appreciate you coming in. He didn't even see his app yet. I showed him the app. He was excited. I said, what happened? He says, a couple of days after you came in, a guy came in trying to pitch me the same thing, and he was charging me like $1,500. Can you believe that, Kerry?
That's crazy, man. And you know what? People are out there doing that every day, you know?
Yeah, and there's no customer service. I mean, I built my business on really outstanding apps and good customer service too. So going to this story, I know Steve, and Steve says, I'm going to Colorado and it's going to be a convention for auto repair people in Denver. So he takes off and I said, I'll see you when you get back, because I do keep in touch with him because he gives me a lot of referrals. And because he's using his app 20 times a day, it's incredible. So anyway, he's in this meeting and I'm home like about this time, and I get a text message. He goes, Roger, I'm here at this convention and you ain't gonna believe what happened. So anyway, he went to dinner with 8 or 9 guys on a table, and he's sitting next to this guy and they're talking, and the guy says, and Steve says, do you have a card? And he said, yes. And so he takes up his phone. He said, what's your number? And Steve looked at him and says, are you kidding me? And he goes, no. And he went and hit and sent Steve the card. And he said this, Steve said, who sold you that app? And you know what he said? Roger Pineda. Steve said, I could not believe it.
That is crazy.
I'm in another state somewhere and you got customers everywhere. And this guy gave me his card and I asked him, who gave you that? And he goes, Roger Pineda. He's a great guy.
Yeah. That is absolutely, you know, and we talk about this all the time. And that's why I like bringing you on, Roger. I mean, you're the real deal. You're out in the field. You know, they can listen to me all day long, but you know, I'm just a voice behind a microphone. You're out there in the field every single day, 5 days, 6 days a week, busting your butt. You know, some days are 4-hour days, some days are 10-hour days.
Yeah.
But you're out there making it happen. And here you got a guy in Colorado who's talking to a guy that gets his business card, who gives him your business card that you built for him. And I mean, that only happens when you go out there and you sell 1,000 apps.
Well, here's another thing too, Gary. He gave him his card, right? And then Steve says, "Can I give you mine?" And he goes, "Yes." He says, "What's your phone number?" Oh man! And you know what? Steve said, "I got a guy here that really wants your app." Steve gets back, gives me his phone number. I called him back in a couple of days, and I sold him an app.
That is so crazy, man. I mean, it's just amazing. You know what happens when you go to work. You know, no, it's not really amazing. It's what's supposed to happen when you go out and you hit it every day. I mean, and I don't think Roger minds me saying this, guys. Roger is probably, out of everybody I know, probably knows less about a computer or how to do what you do than anybody, right, Raj?
Well, I was trying to get on tonight and I couldn't get on. I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
You know. but he sold 1,000 apps. Now, how does that happen? How can a guy that is probably the least technical of every single person on here that calls me and asks me how to turn on his phone sometimes? I mean, I'm telling you, you know, sometimes he can't get something to work on his phone and he'll call me and say, Kerry, I can't get this work. Will you walk through it with me? How does a guy like that go out and sell 1,000 mobile business cards? And I will tell you, Roger, he sells mobile business cards. He doesn't go out and add 57 buttons. He doesn't go out and sell anything else. Maybe they'll put a YouTube video on, you know, or maybe they'll do something like that. But he goes out and sells these apps with less technical knowledge than anybody, and his closure rate is upwards to 70, 80%. Okay. And I want him to tell you, because we talk about this all the time. And the question is Kerry, I don't understand how people can call me and say, Roger, I can't sell anything. And they're probably 10x times more technical than Roger is. And Roger starts talking to them, and it all boils down to they don't go out and sell. They're trying to do it on Facebook. They're trying to do it on the internet. They're trying to do all of those kind of things. And Roger, what does it take to go sell 1,000 apps in 5 years? Okay. What does it take for a man or a woman to do exactly that?
Well, first of all, you have to believe in your product. And we have the best product, bar none. Does anybody on this call know people that have a paper business card? They're everywhere. Number two, you gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta have a goal. What do you want to do? Do you want to pay off bills like I did? I wanted to get out of debt. I was broke. And then I really think the thing that has really made a difference for me, and you're right about the technology. I buy the latest phone. I go out and pay $1,200 for a Note 8. And my buddy gets a Note 8. And he says, why do you buy those phones? All you know how to do is open up and maybe send a text. And he's telling me how he can do all these magic things with the phone. I said, no, but I always have the latest phone. But I mean, I think the one word that I could say to you, Kerry, that has made a difference for me, and you've taught me this, is consistency. I'm consistent. I'm out every day, sunshine, rain, shine, whatever, sun or whatever. I'm on the street. And by doing that, I hardly ever knock on another door anymore like I did. I mean, I must have knocked on hundreds of doors, and that's why I sold hundreds of apps. But you know what? Today I get more referrals in a week that I can't. I'm so backed up. I don't know how to close all of them. Is that amazing?
That, you know, and that's what it's all about, right? And kind of go through what you say. You know, everybody always asks. This is always the question: what do you say when you walk in the door? And I've heard what you said, because I know we've talked on the phone, and you leave your phone on sometimes. He doesn't even know how to hang up his phone. And he'll leave his phone on, and he'll have it there, and he's
I'm sure glad I don't say anything bad about you.
You know, but I've heard him talk to his customers, and I've heard him close the deals live. And him not knowing, it just happens because he doesn't hang up the phone. Roger, kind of walking through the door, what you say, how you get their attention. And I know it doesn't take him long to sell the apps, but kind of go through that with everybody for all those that are on here that haven't heard you before.
Well, if you want to know how to sell this business, it's very simple. It's just show and tell. That's all I do, show and tell. To give you an example, I walk into a business and I said, hey, Kerry, is the owner in? And Kerry says, yeah, I'm the owner. I said, Kerry, I have something that's very unique that may be a benefit to your company. And I said, Kerry, all I need is 5 seconds to show you what I have. Everybody looks at me and says, 5 seconds? And he goes, yes, 5 seconds. Well, guess what? I go in, I said, look, this is my digital business card. And every customer you will have it on your phone to refer people to you, instead of having people say, oh, do you have Steve's number or Bob's number? Oh yeah, I have his card at home. They have it on their phone, no matter where they're at a baseball game, picnic, party. They can give your business card to every one of their friends with a click of a button. And there's nothing like a referral lead. And I said, and then they started asking questions. So again, all I say, hello, is Carrie, is the owner in? Yeah, I'm the owner, Carrie says. I say, Carrie, my name is Roger. I have something that may be a great benefit to your company. All I need is 5 seconds of your time to show you what I do. And they'll say, okay. Some people start counting 1, 2, 3. I said, stop. But you know what? That 5 seconds turns into 20 minutes. And within 30 minutes, I'm rocking out with the check. Because I've showed them, I explain what it does, they get it, and they're really excited. I delivered an app yesterday. I walked in, I think on Friday, to see this one company, just cold, no, cold. I talked to this guy who was in charge, and I said, all I need is 5 seconds of your time, Carlos. Can I kind of show it? And he saw it. Oh, he goes, man, this is great. He says, my brother who runs the place is really into this kind of stuff. He says, come back on Monday. So Monday morning, I'm there at 8 o'clock. I meet him and I tell him I just need 5 seconds to show it. I showed him the business card. You know what he said to me? You know, Roger, how many times I've been out of a business card? And I said, yeah, that's lost business. He says, you'll write your number on a piece of paper. People put it in their pocket. They get home. They don't know what it is. They don't remember. I sold him his app and I delivered it. And he could not thank me enough. It was so beautiful. And he had a great logo. And Carrie, when I walked out after I delivered it, he gave me another lead. Is that amazing? So
you get a lead from just about every app you deliver. Is that, am I correct in saying that? I mean, just about every single app.
Yeah, it works that way. And I tell them, listen, there's not a lot of money in this, I tell them, but I tell you what, there is a lot of money, Carrie, trust me. And then what happens is I say, I'll give you $10 for a referral, you know, and they are sending out, he sent his app to about 22 people before I left. Okay. And then listen to this, Carrie, how this business worked. He took out his business card holder and he goes, Roger, see all these businesses? I'm going to give them all your business card. Boy, I make one sale and they give me 20, 30 leads and I don't have to knock on a cold call. I did one a few weeks ago too. I was just, I don't know, I was driving somewhere and I saw this business and said, oh, maybe it's an opportunity. And I walked in there, I hadn't done a cold call, I had to kind of, so how do I do this? And I walked in, I need 4 minutes of your time. No, I said, no, I need 5 seconds. And guess what? I walked out of there, I sold 2 apps to the company, and then I delivered the app, and he gave me his son, who's a salesman for a car dealer. I went down there and wrote him up. Is that unbelievable? Wow. So every sale I'm getting, I'm walking away with maybe 2 to 3 apps.
Now, you were telling me today that you've got a car dealership that you sold an app to, and you was talking to the guy, and he turned you on to what, 20 or 30 salespeople apps? Tell us the story about that real quick.
Well, here's what happened. I know my son was looking for a car, so I know one of the biggest dealers here in town, and so I know the owner, and you know we've been doing businesses for a long time, and he never had my app, but he's helped me out with cars. And I remember I was there with my son. My son bought a car, and one of the guys comes up that knows me, and he said, "Hey, Roger, how you doing?" I said, "Doing very good." I said, "I'm here with my son. He's buying a car, and John's helping him." And so it all went real good. And then I said, he goes, "What have you been doing lately?" And I said, "Oh, let me show you what I do." And I showed him, and he goes, "Oh my God, this is what we need for our business. I need to see you on this." Well, I kind of forgot about it, Carrie, about 3 weeks ago. And I said, "Oh my God, I got to get a hold of Frank." So I went there today, and you know why I went down there today? I had to pick up my son. He was doing his first oil change. And I go in there and it says Frank, and I said, hey, Frank, it's Roger. He goes, hey, Raj. I said, hey, you were interested? And he goes, yes. He took me in to see one of the top guys of the company. And these are both big guys. I'm at the top. And they were so excited. And he says, Roger, we're going to set up an appointment. So next Thursday at 9 o'clock, I show up with these big guys. They have already seen the app. They are so excited. I'll probably walk out of there. If I get all the sales reps and everybody in that place, I'll probably walk out of there with maybe 30 to 40 apps. And then I'll go and buy my Lamborghini.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
It's that easy. I mean, all you have to do, guys, if you're out there and you're not making any sales, think what you're doing for your business. Maybe you're not going out every day. Maybe you say, oh, I got to wait till I learn this perfect, or I got to do this. When I started this business, I didn't even know what I was doing. But with Kerry, I would get on the Wednesday training calls and he would teach me, and I'd call him, Kerry, how do you do this? And what do I do here? But I tell you, the exciting thing is we have a great program, but what makes it count for me, I'm telling you, is our customer service. Kerry, you helped me a lot with the customer service, and these people are, it's amazing. Even today, I had to call you to say, how do I do these two things? And guess what? It was done in a minute. I called the guy, and you know what the guy told me? Sean told me, he said, hey, Roger, thank you. You got it done? I said, yeah, we got great customer service. He goes, I got about 4 people that want your app. I'll call you tomorrow.
And guys, it's you know, you hate to say something is that easy, but when you go out and you sell a product, and you don't go out and oversell a product, and you sell exactly what you're selling, you don't try to throw a bunch of stuff in, you don't let the customer control what they're buying. You're selling them 6 buttons, okay, and a good looking app. And that's what Roger sells. He doesn't go out and sell 57 buttons. And, you know, he doesn't go sell all this other stuff. I mean, every now and then he'll put a video on there. He'll call and say, hey, Kerry, could you help me put this video on here? And we'll put a video on there. You know, he doesn't make it complicated. Matter of fact, he's probably simpler than I am when it comes to the process. And after 1,000 of these, I mean, he's right. I think it's 996 or 97, something like that. I mean, it's very, very close. And, you know, he's not changed the game. Why? Because the game is still on. He's still selling the same thing that he was selling in 2012. Okay. When we talked, it was December of 2012. I'm sorry, 2012. And I was headed to Oklahoma, and he called me. He said, man, he said, I'm struggling. He said, I need help. And I said, dude, I said, I've developed a mobile business card. I said, I think you'd do very good at it. He's never looked back since. No, and at that time, he only had a handful of apps, and now he sells them. Gosh, man, what, 15 to 20 a month, Raj? I'm projected to do this month maybe 22 apps. That's my goal. And the month is almost over. And I'll tell you what, Kerry, don't let anybody kid yourself on this call today, guys. I paid a price. I went out there every day because I was broke, had no food in the refrigerator. They were repossessing my cars. I was losing my house. I was down and out. And when I found Kerry and Woodrow on this program, I am telling you guys, I took a leap of faith and I did it. But what made it was not that we had the greatest program, and I looked on the computer because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I saw the potential, and I went out there and I paid a price. I knocked on many, many, many doors. I remember when I first joined, I went down to the Staples and I got 100 files, and I had a cabinet, and I pulled that cabinet roll and I put 100 files in there, Kerry, and I said to myself, man, if I could only have 100 customers, would that change my life? You know how many files I have now? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But I knew that if I had a good product, I had great customer service, and I became friends with my customers,
I would get the referrals. And now, like I said, I don't hardly ever do a cold call because I'm getting so many referrals. Now you may say, well, wait a minute, you're lucky because you got all those calls. No, I'm not lucky. I went out there and I knocked and I showed and I showed and I showed. Some people said no. Some people said come back. And this business is really funny. I remember I went into this one call and I said to myself, Carrie, I've been in, oh no, I sold the app to somebody and he said, I want you to go see my best friend. So he gave me the address. And when I got there, I said to myself, I think I've been in here. And I walked in and I was there. Well, the owner didn't recognize me, but I recognized him. And I just said, oh, by the way, George, Willie told me to come and see you. He goes, oh, Willie. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. Look what I did for Willie. I walked out of there with a check. So I never burn a bridge. I always leave it open. If somebody says, oh, no, not now at the right time, I said, okay, do you mind if I stop by in 6 months? Sure. These people don't think you're going to come back, but I come back. It's crazy.
Well, you know, it goes back to exactly what you said earlier. It's consistency.
Yes.
And you know, and it's not just running out there selling 1,000 apps. You hit those brick walls. You got to learn what you're saying. You got to learn how you're saying it. You got to figure it out. And you can't sit at home figuring it out because you don't know what your customer base is going to do. Roger understands his customer base. He knows, and it's not like he sells to one niche. I mean, he's got everything from beauty salons to realtors to
everything,
insurance companies, you name it, you know.
And it's really funny. I had a good day today. I went to the car dealer, and guess what? There it is. I got an appointment for 9 a.m. next Thursday. Walk out there, maybe 20, 30 apps, maybe more, because they have a lot of sales reps, and we're going to put one for every sales rep. Number two, I belong to a business group this morning. I went to the business group, and Steve, the guy was one of my first customers. He has a radio show. And he says, Roger, I want you to get on my radio show next week, or in a week or two from now. I want to put you on the radio. You'll sell thousands of apps. I said, yep, okay, I'll do it. I'll be on there. And he said, tomorrow morning at my shop, I'm having a, what do you call it? These business groups that are from the cities and stuff. Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, he says, I'm going to have about 40 people. We're going to have coffee and some donuts and stuff. And we're not going to be a meeting. We're just going to be passing out business cards. I said, I'll be there, Steve. So tomorrow I'll be there. Everybody be giving me a paper business card. But I bet you I give out 40 of my cards with a click of a button. And everybody's going to go, ooh, wow. And there's Steve right there telling them if they don't have it, they're losing business. And you got to, when you talk to your folks out there, there is a real reason why the business card works. Number one, it's easy for their customers to refer them. And number two, they don't lose the business card and they get a wow factor.
And I know that his customers are using them because I tell you, if one little glitch or anything happens, all of his customers are calling him saying, hey, what's wrong? You know, maybe Mark's recycling the server or something. And they all call him, you know, and he's on the phone with, hey, man, we got to get this up. The customers are wearing me out. You know?
It's true. One day I was out there and it was like 1 PM and I started getting calls. He goes, Roger, my app doesn't work. I can't seem to use it. I said, I'll find out what's going on. Well, within 15 minutes, I had like 20 some calls. I said, they must be doing something. And then I called you, Carrie, and they were, instead of doing the upgrade at 1 AM, they were doing it at 1. And then I just said, everything will be working. And guess what? Once that went up, I got text me, hey, thanks, my app is working. Thanks, Roger, you're the best. And it's so, my relationship with these people is so good. I'll walk into an auto shop and I said, hey guys, how you doing? How you doing with your app? And everybody, oh, we're using it. Guess what? If it's an auto shop, everybody stops working and we get into the office and we're talking about the business. And guess what? I always walk out with 1 or 2 leads.
It's called building a relationship. And right. Nobody does it better than you, Roger.
But I'll tell you what, Carrie, I just want to say this. The magic for me has been, I've been very consistent. And now it's really starting to pay off. Before I was always broke. having $2 in my checking account, eating hot dogs, and I'm serious. It was a bad situation for me, but when I got this opportunity, I went to work. Carrie, I have money in my wallet all the time. And I used to go out with friends and hope they would pay. Now I pay. I think they're with me because I'm paying more. So anyway, but Carrie, I have to also say to the team out there, we have great leadership. Carrie has helped me. I mean, I've called Carrie at 11 o'clock at night. Carrie, what does this button do? What does this mean? And he's always there for us. But I tell you, you guys out there, you got one of the greatest opportunities. And if you haven't built your business, it's not too late. What if you went out there and made an extra $500 a month? I do that sometimes in one day, Carrie, now. What if you went out there and made an extra $500 a month? It makes a difference. And I'll tell you, today's economy out there, one thing I realized, remember when they had the shutdown with the government, there was hundreds of people that panicked because they didn't even have enough money to go out and buy their groceries. Can you imagine what that $500 would do in your budget if you're on this line today or on this call? It made a difference for me, but I'll tell you what, I never let it go to my head. I know if I keep working the business, my business grows and grows, and it got me out of debt, and I own everything. Now I just have my Toyota car. I'll get that paid off by by February next year, and the only thing I'll have left is in my house. But guess what? I'm caught up with my home, and it's my home. And I'll tell you, Carrie, I go to sleep at night and I rest. But I tell you what, every morning I get up, there's somebody, one of my cousins, hey, Roger, call me. I have a lead for you. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you got the greatest referral market I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's just absolutely phenomenal. But Roger, man, I thank you for coming on, buddy. I know you've been out busting and you shortened your day to come in, and I know you've got a busy day tomorrow, and I know you got to get ready for that. But I greatly appreciate you, buddy, and you have a great evening. And I hope everybody enjoyed Roger. You know, every time he comes on, I hope that he excites you to the point where the first thing you do is go out tomorrow and create a bunch of sales for yourself. And because that's what he does. He hits it every single day. So everybody have a good evening. Take care. God bless. And we will see you. Somebody's got a question here, I think.
Go ahead. I'm still here.
Rodney Griffith says, thank you, Roger.
Oh, no problem at all. Hey, guys, you know, somebody made a difference in my life by offering me this opportunity. And if I can say something that'll change your life, it's a great blessing to me. I've always believed that if you help others, everything comes back. And I tell you, you're with one of the greatest companies. I've been ripped off with other companies, never got a nickel. This company, I put my faith in them. They performed, and I've never been disappointed. And they're always making the product better. They're always keeping up on the latest technology. And I just want to say, I appreciate the being on the call, Carrie, and thank you very much.
All right, buddy. You have a great night. Good night, everybody. And we will see you next Wednesday night.